Hello, members and those watching after. We got our games done. FPX just beat Ultra Prime 2-1. So, prediction wise, thought LGD would beat FPX. That did not happen. But at the same time, I would like to think back to the LPL spring split team rankings. FPX and LGD were 9th and 10th. FPX move on. That kind of is holding true. The stats did say FPX and LGD were the two teams that were the best of, the ones that we figured weren't top 8 and wouldn't get, um, you know, two of those bottom 8 teams had to go to group, Nirvana or whatever the fuck it's called. So FPX and LGD were projected to be those two teams. Now we have LGD and Team We. In a best of 3 setting, I like LGD in this one to hold true with the thought I had before. Cube and DiStefano is an interesting matchup. I like XQW into Karis. And the bot lane, Taeyun really dealt a lot of damage during this run they had. But I just, you know what? We're going to stick with those stats. LGD 2-1 over Team We. And then when LGD play Ultra Prime afterwards, this is where things get a little tougher. LGD's playing a lot of games in a couple days. Ultra Prime actually, well, hell, LGD will just play one more, I guess, right? Trying to think, like, very young players. You look at Wako and YCX as being the two oldest ones. Everybody else is essentially in their first or second season for the most part, especially in the LPL outright. And it's a good thing to have one of those two teams get into Group Nirvana, because that would say, hey, you know what? This team might have a future. They're going to get a lot of games against very good teams and very good players, and that should only help their development. So one team's going to be really lucky to get this opportunity, and we'll see how they do with it. Even if they go winless, the level of play will be something that the other team simply is not going to get. So I'm going to go LGD 2-1 in that one as well over Ultra Prime. We'll say Ultra Prime's played much better than I thought they would. I'm not a big Saber guy. I think Saber is not very good so far, to put it mildly. Junhao, I think, is a little better than Climber at this point. Top lane, I do think that that's a very fun matchup once again. Salsa into Jiang. I think Salsa is he is the most underrated top lane rookie this season. By far. Everyone's talking about Siwoo and the LEC tops, but I think this kid is very talented. Didn't know much about him coming into the season, and I'm happy to see what I've seen thus far. Now, in terms of LEC, BDS, Rogue, we're going to go BDS 2-0. I don't think Rogue The thing is, when you have veterans, I thought they'd be the gatekeeping team. Like, hey, if you don't play well, they're going to beat you because they know how to play games out. But when you have so many, ways of playing, you throw all these players together to see what happens, it's not working. Adam and the miscommunications that occurred yesterday, I'm not a big fan of that. I'm taking BDS 2-0. 113 Nuke did very well in winter statistically, and I think in a Malrung and Larson they're going to be difference makers. Fnatic and SK, we're going Fnatic 2-0. SK made some changes to the jungle role and to AD carry. They didn't make a change to support, which I think they should have done. And SK do not have an X factor on their team that I can see right now that beats Fnatic in a matchup straight up. So it's going to be tough. If SK beat Fnatic, something terrible had to have happened in preparation for Fnatic to lose that. So thank you for being a member. Hope to see you again tomorrow.